Welcome to the Blackley Creek Project Podcast, Season 1, Episode 4, What's in a Name, August 26, 2023, starring our American and British hosts, and our Australian and Canadian investigators, and hopefully General Anonymous.
What do you mean hopefully? I'm already here and mic'd up and ready to go.
Hello, General Anonymous. We weren't expecting you until closer to the halfway point of the podcast.
I wasn't expecting you at all. I tend to be in a constant state of shock and awe when it comes to guests on our program.
Shock and awe are what I named my puppy dogs.
That is a bit surprising.
What, that I named them Shock and awe?
No, that you refer to them as your puppy dogs. You strike me as more businesslike and less sentimental, so I wasn't expecting that from you.
You prefer that I refer to them as Canis lupus familiaris? How about as mine a Deutschen Schäfer Hund?
If you've got German Shepherd dogs, get them on the line. I can send them on a mission.
I will not.
If you don't mind my asking, General Anonymous, how did you meet? I suppose we still call him the American host.
Oh, yes, that's me. I am your American host. Welcome to the show.
Do we have to engage in that formality? We're already more than a minute into the podcast and it feels unnecessary and somewhat awkward at this point.
Unnecessary and somewhat awkward was my nickname in high school. Besides, we are contractually obligated to check every podcast box.
Then I suppose we can go ahead and start over.
Should I get the British lady to start us over again? Or is that too self-referential?
No, just start with you.
Please, it works better when someone is tossing it to me. You're British, so would you mind doing the honors? The British accent adds gravitas and class.
Fine, I'll do it. Welcome to the Blackley Creek Project Podcast with your American and British hosts.
Thank you. I am your American host. It's your turn.
Fine. I am your British host. Does our esteemed guest get to introduce himself?
I am happy to do so. I am General Anonymous. I have 2 puppy dogs and enjoy long walks on the beach in the early morning before a breakfast of protecting my country from all enemies, foreign, domestic, and extraterrestrial.
General, may I ask, is that actually your name?
I'm not entirely comfortable giving my name on a podcast. You understand?
Yes, I understand. We have an international following in Peru.
I'm not sure our Australian comrade was entirely serious about that encounter.
What if you ask all 7 or 8 of your podcast listeners to promise not to divulge my personal information?
That was some unexpected shade you just tossed at me, General, but I will do it. All of the podcast listeners, will you promise not to divulge his personal information?
I'm sorry, are you waiting for confirmation from the audience? Like this is Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and you asking them to help count goofy hats with you.
Yes, it's only polite to have them vocally respond to this covenant. If you're in for good. Ride or die.
Those are oddly bleak options.
I need to know that you're all in. I need you all to get a needle and prick your finger so we can make a blood pact. Remember, snitches get stitches.
Please, no one do that. That is not a thing and no one on this podcast or anywhere else condones that lunacy.
That is my favorite classic TV show. I love lunacy.
That's I Love Lucy, you meatball.
Yes, Lucy Liu is also a talented actress.
Can we get back to the General?
I don't know, can we?
General, are you still with us? General?
I'm sorry, I was muted. I was playing with my puppy dog.
Which one? Shock or?
I was actually playing with my other dog, Unknown Unknowns. You didn't know about him.
Do you also have a dog named Dramatic Irony?
No, but my younger sister has a cat named Played Out Joke.
As it turns out, this is around the point in the podcast I had expected to have you call in.
Oh, good, glad to be here. I've been looking forward to catching back up with you fine gentlemen.
Have you really, General? All of our interactions to this point would lead me to believe otherwise.
Not really, but you all offered to send me a Starbucks gift card in exchange for my participation, and I'm not too proud to pass up a Starbucks gift card. I love a good milkshake.
Your candor is duly noted, but I can't help but point out that Starbucks does not sell milkshakes.
It's true, but I trade the Starbucks gift card for a Dairy Queen gift card. I consider a Blizzard the epitome of milkshakes.
General, I apologize for returning to my original question, but why is it you cannot divulge your real name? I understand your desire to maintain some separation between your personal and professional activities, but I will be honest myself and point out that you have not provided anything particularly useful with respect to aliens in Peru.
Are you guys still talking about aliens in Peru? Not even Yahoo News is talking about aliens in Peru anymore. The news cycle has moved on to more important things.
What could possibly be more important than direct evidence that man is not alone in the universe? That is the answer to basic existential questions about humanity's place among all of God's creation, and surely nothing can be of greater consequence than making contact with someone and something from outside our tiny blue sphere hurtling through our relatively small corner of the infinite expanse.
Yes, you're a good boy. A very good boy.
I'm sorry?
Oh, I apologize, I thought I was still muted. My dog rolled over and asked for belly scratches.
General, I don't think you're taking this seriously.
No, I am taking it seriously. Weird stuff happened in Peru, then other things came up which were more interesting to a greater audience. TikTok does not wait for the old news cycle.
General, I can tell you that my wife and children and I are all very interested in this, and the thought that you know something that could shed light on all of it but you're simply choosing not to tell us is maddening.
Wait, you're married? When did that happen?
You were there. You were there at the wedding.
Was I?
Yes. You delivered a moving, heartfelt toast to my wife and me. You gave a toast and then played music on a ukulele and called it Toast and Jam.
Did I?
Apparently not that heartfelt, I suppose.
Well, congratulations and many happy returns. She is a lucky gal. And I mean that as much now as when I might have said it at your wedding.
Yes. Thank you.
And tell Mrs. British host, cheerio.
Very heartfelt. But back to the point I believe you were making, General, about the world having lost interest. Does humanity not deserve to have serious, responsible leaders who have the people's best interests at heart and communicate with them transparently and respectfully?
You're a good boy.
General, I believe you were talking to your dog again.
Actually, no, I was commenting on your overall perspective. I agree that in a perfect world, whatever is going on in Peru, or Las Vegas, or Port Talbot.
Wait, what's going on in Port Talbot?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't do that to me, General. I'm from the United Kingdom, so you can't reference Port Talbot and then pretend you didn't. I have family in Wales.
I promise you, your family is fine.
Thank goodness.
For now.
That was unnecessarily ominous. Please, General, is there anything you can tell us?
All I can say for now is to look to my coming on the first light of the fifth day. At dawn look to the east.
You giving me a Gandalf quote from Lord of the Rings?
What I told you was true, from a certain point of view.
You really going to stonewall us, General Kennedy?
I'm afraid I am. I really only called in for the Starbucks card.
Will you ever tell us anything of actual value or importance?
Look to my coming.
Yes, got it. Thank you.
You're a good boy.
You don't need to continue to compliment me, General.
Sorry, that time I was talking to the dog.
Hello, can you hear me? We've been trying to call for the last few minutes.
Oh, this is awkward. I wasn't expecting the general to meet my investigators.
Oh, we already know about your investigators.
Who's we, General? Is it Shokan or an unknown unknowns?
What are you talking about?
We also already know what they're going to tell you. They have had a few eventful days in Peru. Good luck. A blizzard is calling my name.
Wait,
I think he's already gone.
is there any chance you can not send him the Starbucks card?
I already sealed the envelope, so I don't think I can keep it from him.
But it's still sitting on your desk. You haven't mailed it.
Yes, but it already has a stamp on it, and I hate to waste a stamp.
Can't you just save the stamp for later?
I mean, I could, but that seems complicated.
Fine, send him the gift card. But I don't appreciate his wasting our time.
But you do appreciate me wasting our time, right?
It's my wasting our time.
No, I don't think you waste any of our time.
I mean, you should say, my wasting our time, instead of me wasting our time, because it's a gerund phrase. It is treated like a noun.
Who's wasting our time now?
He has a point.
Fine, I yield. Was the general correct in his assertion that you have news?
In fact, we do.
I'm sorry, that's all the time for our podcast today.
You must be joking. Our investigators have news about Peru and you are cutting it short.
I blame all of you time wasting. Your time wasting? Ye old time wasting? I'm not sure how to phrase it.
On what basis could you possibly justify saying that we are out of time? It's a podcast which by definition is an indeterminate length.
Our market research shows that 11 minutes is the sweet spot. My rule is that if it works for Paw Patrol, it works for me.
You must be joking. We've spent more than 30 seconds debating this and we're barely past the 10-minute mark.
We have to keep room for the outro.
The what?
Thank you for joining the Blackley Creek Project podcast. This podcast was made using voiceover from Speechify. While the voices are computer-generated, the script comes straight from a human brain and is lovingly handcrafted by painstakingly typing using human fingers. We don't have a support page, or really any page, up and running yet, but please leave feedback and tell your friends. Check back on Monday, August 28th, for the next podcast.